Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Yoders Farm. I'm Eldon, and Lowell is here again with me in the studio. Welcome to the podcast, Lowell. How are you doing?
Fine, Eldon, fine.
Very good. It is Monday, March the 20th, 2023. And
is it the first day of spring?
Night. I don't know, is it?
It's either the 20th or the 21st.
Seems like the 21st.
It's right around the first day of spring, officially.
I'll look it up in a minute once I get to it. It doesn't show up on my calendar, but it might just be something I have set up.
I had a debate in my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's close.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Anyway.
You can't figure out when the first day of spring is?
It's not on my general calendar.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
So how have you been?
I've been alright. How about you?
Fine.
Alright, let's end the podcast.
Yeah, it did get pretty cold last night, did it not?
It did.
I saw somewhere around just under 20.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first day of spring.
Okay, cool.
Monday, March 20, 2023.
Interesting. This morning I was drinking my coffee, looking out this window out here, and a little deer walked up out of the woods and looked over your strawberries and saw they were covered, and he was ticked off. So he ate a little bit in the corner there of the corn maze.
That's
a
funny.
Little bit, but then he trundled back into the forest.
Okay. He thought a blanket of snow had fallen on his berries.
Yeah.
Because of the white row covers.
Something.
Or maybe
he seemed confused.
Maybe he saw the one hanging in the tree down there, scared him off, thought it was a ghost.
Yeah. The row cover. Yeah.
The row cover. Yeah. What did I say?
You just said saw the one
hanging in the tree.
I wasn't sure the one was.
Who was hanging in the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling about strawberries? Is that what we want to talk about first?
Probably. I'm feeling better now than I did 2 hours ago.
Okay.
I stopped, and it usually takes me several hours, to get my nerve up to go look to see how bad the damage is under the covers.
After a cold night or a couple of nights. Yeah. So,
I mean, last night was marginal as to what a row cover can protect against. So, yeah, good news and bad news. Bad news is very few open blossoms made it.
Yeah.
It was just too cold even with row covers.
Right.
But we kind of knew that, and besides, we didn't have that many open blossoms to begin with. Because a lot of those have already been fried.
Yeah.
The few that there were, I mean, when you have a kind of a mildish winter like we have, you always kind of get a little bit of flowering and so forth. So it's not the end of the world if you lose a few of those winter flowers.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to make a decision that, okay, from here on, we're going to try to save things.
Exactly.
So we were kind of in that mode. Like, if we could save them, we'd be happy.
Right.
But our main concern were the buds, which are just down in the crown of the plant, or starting to push up out of the crown, actually. And they'll quickly, over these next few days, week, whatever, turn into flowers, and those can die. Their critical temperature is colder than an open blossom. Maybe 20s, low to mid 20s, in that range. There's some different thought as to where that exact critical temperature is.
Yeah. But
a lot of those seem to have made it through there. You can take it's a little tight little bud thing, but you pick it apart with your fingernail, and if they're still nice and
all the
yellow,
way through.
they're viable, and if they're black, they're not.
Interesting.
So I could see a pretty big difference outside of the cover versus inside of the cover. sometimes, around the edge there's a plant or two or whatever that didn't.
Which makes you at least glad you covered.
Yeah, that's what I
it's
thought.
It's like, oh, it did do something.
Right.
Yeah. Huh.
So as long as we, what's this?
It's a little
whirlwind. I'm kind of jumpy about those these days.
That's the only thing we can figure that carried that one
cover across the power line and up into a tree.
Yeah, it wasn't but super windy. This happened yesterday, and then there was suddenly a cover ways away.
But there literally is a power line between here and there.
Yeah, how did miss
somehow
that?
It got up and out of there and up into a tree.
Yeah, weird.
It would have been nice to at least have seen it.
Right. So let's see. Next couple of weeks, just kind of continue growing buds and blossoms and hopefully saving them, huh?
Right. Yeah, well, it looks like it'll get warmer towards the end of the week. I'm sure we'll have some more brushes with
coldness.
Frost and cold. Hopefully nothing extreme. It's about all you can count on.
Right. Well, here getting towards the end of...
hope for, you can't even count on that.
Right. But getting here towards the end of March especially, you'd hope that you're kind of getting through a lot of your worst stuff.
Well,
but nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, generally your coldest stuff, but then as you move on into spring and you get more open blossoms, then it's more critical too.
Right.
So even marginal.
Because they're more susceptible.
Yeah, so a greater portion of your crop is at risk.
Exactly. Yep. Very good. So if it was
time, I mean, they're starting to kind of ease, push up off the plastic.
Yeah.
And, I mean, things had really been off to the races 3 weeks ago and so forth. It was very warm in February. And then it's been a much cooler March.
Yeah.
So things have definitely slowed down. So I think probably puts us on pretty much on par with a normal opening date, which I assume was what you're going to ask next.
Yeah, I was just going to, that's kind of what I figured too, late April.
I mean, if we don't
early May.
We don't really have many viable blooms at this point. It takes at least a month. So I'm figuring maybe last part of April for a few.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yep. To have here at the store, and then, which is about normal for us.
But as I tell everyone who asks, there's a lot of weather and time between now and then.
Right.
And we'll just have to let you know when we get there.
Yeah, and it's probably time for people to... I think we've been kind of hinting at it from when we planted in the fall. This is not going to be a bumper strawberry crop. I don't think so. The plants don't look bumperish.
You told somebody the other day they look bump?
Maybe.
Something.
Did I say
what
that?
It was.
No, I said they look bum.
Yeah.
Not bump. Yeah. Some of them look okay, but they look very inconsistent.
Yeah, it's just been kind of a rough strawberry year.
As we've elaborated before, a lot of your plant's potential is based on that fall period of establishment.
Yep.
Couple that with that really nasty freeze around Christmas, and then kind of mild, and then cold again, and maybe losing at least a few blossoms, buds, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't. So if we can, pick, I'm not even sure if we're going to pick a normal crop.
Right.
I'm actually pretty sure but if we can even get, something halfway decent, I'll be happy at this point.
Yeah.
So some of that is still remains to be seen how they're going to look. I will say that they look a little better now than I was worried they might.
Okay.
Right after that, stuff got knocked back so
around Christmas.
Around Christmas. Just a lot of dead foliage. And
If people wanted to learn more about that, I think we talked about that in a podcast episode.
Yeah.
One or two ago, so go back and listen to that.
Bottom line is, yes, we will have a strawberry season. Yes, there should be strawberries to pick. My guess is some days are going to run short. We might have to cut and close early some days, or close for a day or two for ripening. Some of those nightmare challenges to people don't really understand those things.
It's
not
just
like you're
always a communication challenge.
Cutting the plant on and off. I mean, it's just kind of how it is. It's farming, and you got to deal with it. So that's probably the kind of season I'm thinking we might have. But if we can have at least some strawberries for people and have recoup a lot of our investment in the crop, I'll be fairly happy, I think.
Yep, that is the plan. Let's see. That pretty much covers strawberries, I guess.
Yeah, it's really time to start. I've not been fertilizing them much. Actually, I haven't at all. Need to hook up to get the drip all pumped down to the creek, and it's time to start. With this really cold weather coming up, I didn't want to push things too much, but at this point, it's ready or not. Here they come.
Yeah.
So you gotta go with it.
Give it to the plant and let it go.
Give them the fertility they need, and hopefully size the berries up and see what happens.
There you go. Let's see what else is going on around here these days. I guess we could talk a little bit about tomatoes. Anything going on there?
Yeah, we're continuing to pick tomatoes. Pretty steady supply. We've had them for months now.
Yeah.
We're picking in 2 greenhouses. They're doing pretty good. They like longer days, more light. They've set a decent amount of fruit, so I think things tomato-wise should be pretty consistent.
Not a whole lot new in there, and that's probably a good thing.
Our spring house is coming on pretty fast. I'm not sure. Hopefully in a month we should be picking some out of there.
So is there some blooms in there now?
Yeah, there's there's green fruit that's probably like that big around.
A couple inches in
baseball size.
Yeah, baseball size.
Some.
Cool.
It's we've grown that tomato variety before. It's a determinate tomato variety. And
I don't know what that means.
It means it's more of a bush type tomato that kind of stops.
It's not like the continually growing ones.
Indeterminate ones. Yeah. So, but these are grafted.
Okay.
And so it kind of turns it into an indeterminate tomato.
Okay.
So it's one we really like. Good flavor, excellent flavor, really pretty, nice size.
Yeah.
But we've never had that combination before of a grafted.
I'm curious what that means as far as vine work and.
Yeah, so far they're definitely shorter of stature, so that's good. The longer and stretchier a plant is, the more I have to do with it.
Right. It's a lot of, we call it leaning and lowering.
Yeah, these do need a lot of pruning. Suckering. Because like wherever there's a branch between the main stem and the
producing
leaf,
stem,
there tends to, once a bush, so it'll shoot a new sucker out. So they're a little challenging to figure out how to train them, like prune them, because they're kind of all over the place. But
instead of a long straight. Yeah.
Huh. But we're working at it, and hopefully they'll yield well. Not be as much work, going on into the summer.
Especially throughout strawberry season there, as we tend to have other things to focus on for the 6-8 weeks there.
But
2 months.
If we really like it, it might be one or if it's a good fit for us, we might use it in our other greenhouses and so forth.
Interesting. Let's see. Anything else we need to talk about? It's really not a whole lot else going on around here, is there?
Even just the normal farming,
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, I think so. Been messing around with my bees some. They're definitely brooding and gearing up for the spring. I think a little bit ahead of schedule.
Some of those warm days, you said they were going crazy, right?
Yeah, they're really working.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing from other beekeepers I follow, a lot of their bees were several weeks ahead of schedule with their amount of buildup. And of course, I'm not sure exactly what happens with temperatures like we had last night.
Yeah.
It looks like the peach tree down there has a little bit of a brownish tint.
Yeah.
So that might, I don't know if that would affect some of the bees' foraging sources or not, but it might.
Man, it'd be a pain to be a fruit tree farmer. You can't cover those quite as well as you can.
No.
Strawberries.
A lot of those guys would rely more on wind machines, and those are big guys because they're very expensive.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else we should talk about? How's your NCAA bracket doing? We can just leave it at that.
I hadn't even really looked at it.
Yeah.
Recently, it's pretty bad, I think, which is probably why I hadn't looked at it.
Right.
Especially since I lost my top team and you lost your...
I lost mine.
I think all of us lost our pick, our champion anyway.
Yeah. No, I was just glad that UVA is no longer the only number 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed. So I guess there's that.
That's right. All right. No, I think it's just normal spring work. We're trying to make preparations and thinking about planting corn here before long. And
you ordered some pumpkins
ordered
the
a
other
bunch
day.
of pumpkin seed. Yeah, it just seems like all of those things are more shortages and just weirdness in supply chains than there ever used to be.
Interesting.
So I'm trying to, well, yeah, I mean, they're out of some stuff. And, of course, some of that's, I mean, it's farming too, so.
Is it a lot more of the specialty varieties that you have grown, or is it some of your staples?
No, some of the other stuff too, and I don't know what all goes into that. I mean, crop failures can play into that. Some of it will, sometimes you'll see something that says crop failure 2023, no seed available.
Wow.
Or something. So, but it's just all those things that I guess it reminds you try to plan ahead a little more than we were probably used to doing a few years ago. And
back in the 50s.
Yeah, I guess. But, yeah, spring work in general is that way. If you can just keep at it and keep on the front end of the curve, it's kind of like surfing. You know, if you catch the wave and just ride the front of the wave, it pushes you along. And if you get behind, you get swallowed by the wave.
Right. It's coming one way or the other.
Right.
It's just a matter of whether you ride the front of it or the back of it.
I've never surfed, but that seems like a good analogy.
From where we sit, this is how it seems. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thanks
more to come. It is kind of a new growing season is somewhat exciting, I guess.
Yeah.
There are new opportunities, and you want to hopefully do better at things. And I think a crop like strawberries that, you know, normally I feel that way about it in the fall, and it kind of feels like it's, you know, we can manage it as best we can, but it's not going to quite ever be what we wish it might have been.
Yeah.
But, you know, some of the other crops we grow, it's a fresh slate, so see what happens, and every year is different, and weather and all that plays into it. So
that's right. Very good. Well, thanks
for waxing philosophical.
Thanks for updating us all here on the farm stuff, and we will sign out for now and be back at some point in the next couple of weeks or month or so.
Or whenever we feel like it.
All right. Talk to y'all later. See ya.